Hey, is this jarring enough? Is this enough to make you maybe start scrolling and start listening? Because it's so weird. Anyway, okay, enough of that. Supposedly, if you can grab somebody's attention in the first couple seconds of the video, they'll actually listen to what you have to say. So normally when I'm on here, first off, let me introduce myself. My name's Chance Reynolds. I'm a business attorney. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a best-selling author. And normally when I'm on here, I have some sort of plan of something that I'm going to teach whenever I get on here. And I've taught, a lot of stuff about legal compliance. I've taught things about storytelling. I've taught, affiliates how to make sure that they're in compliance, all these different kind of things, sales tactics. I've brought on people, interviewed them, and I kind of ended up my legal compliance stuff yesterday. So I'm just going to kind of wing it today because I'm not exactly sure where I want to go next. I'm running a lot of ads. I'm doing a lot of other stuff. I'll probably end up talking about kind of the ad stuff that I'm doing on the backside of these Facebook Lives. I'm running something that I'm calling micro ads, where I'm just putting a couple of dollars behind these and just building up personal brand, basically spending, $10, $15 a week, just really pumping these Facebook Lives after I record them, just to build my personal brand and show that I have some sort of value. So I want to talk a little bit how I ended up in the position that I'm in today. I don't have some great rags to riches story. I've been extremely fortunate in my life. At any minute here, also, my wife could come walking through the door. Another part of my life that's very fortunate. But I've really been given every opportunity to succeed. But even with all those opportunities, I squandered so much time and so many opportunities in my life. So I started off, pretty normal, at least average kid in school, making like decent grades, and until I just started, I don't know why things went south. I'm not even going to try to break into the psychological aspects of why that happened, but when it did, I got into high school, and then, like a lot of people, I started kind of messing around, doing a lot of things, basically looking back, maybe like doing some self-medicating for some anxiety issues that I realized in hindsight were causing a lot of my issues. So essentially, like, if I didn't have the structure at my home that I had, I would have been a high school dropout. I essentially was a high school dropout. And I went to kind of this alternative school where it was like a pay-to-play type situation. I mean, you actually had to do your work. In some ways, it was actually harder than regular high school for me because they actually required that you turn in the work, as opposed to regular high school where you could pretty much do nothing and they would let you get by. But I had screwed that up to the point where that just wasn't really going to work out. I wasn't going to graduate, so I left that school and went to a private school that allowed me to catch up to where I needed to be and graduate. And from there, I mean, it was lucky that I even graduated. Very lucky that I even graduated from high school. So from there, I went on to take some community college courses, and I had no direction in my life whatsoever. I was just one mistake after another, a series of just really, really bad decisions. And at that time, the internet was prevalent. I'm not so old that like online technology wasn't happening, but I was so scared of everything and so scared of failure that I wouldn't even get on the internet. I mean, I probably had been on the internet like twice until I was in almost my mid-20s. I'm not even kidding about that. Like when I was 22, 23, I started to kind of dabble in getting online, like literally just owning a computer for the first time and using it. And so I went and took some community college, and I was constantly just like going halfway to the right before the drop point and dropping out, not getting any credits, like years of doing that, like no direction, bouncing from job to job, accomplishing nothing relevant whatsoever. And I don't know what happened. In my mid-20s, I just kind of had an epiphany, like, this is what's going on. My life is like being wasted. I read a book by Tim Ferriss that a lot of people have read called The 4-Hour Work Week. And despite high mockery from many people, thought, this could be a direction that my life could actually go in. There's something that was extremely interesting to me. Tried some things, made a little bit of money like really quick, and then immediately lost it and kind of went down that rabbit hole and just thought, business isn't for me. I've talked about on here before, before I did that, I had been licensed to sell insurance. That didn't really work out. Like I said, I bounced around doing a lot of stuff, but that was kind of one win I had before a series of losses in college and everything. So in my mid-20s, I read that book. It really inspired me. I started making a lot better decisions, realized what some of the anxieties that were happening in my life, some of the problems, what they were, figured out kind of how to eliminate some of the things that were causing a lot of this anxiety, and decided to, focus more on academics. I had actually been academically suspended from community college for a full year. That's because I just dropped so many classes. They were just like, you can't come back. After that academic suspension ended, I got my grades back to where they needed to be. Finally started actually getting to the end of some of the courses at community college, transferred over to a university, ended up graduating summa cum laude from Texas State because I got my act really together, like two together. I was like so like obsessive about not being such a screw up, not screwing up everything in my life, because it was like I'm kind of pushing into my later 20s at that point and realizing like, if I don't do something now, what the hell am I going to do with my life? Really, when I was at Texas State getting my undergraduate degree, I give a lot of grief to people that just college education, how expensive it is and how worthless like a large portion of it is, but it was vital in giving me the self-confidence and the abilities that I have now as far as understanding, technology. So being there really opened my eyes to that, really allowed me to see what the possibilities, the real possibilities were, and realize that the 4-hour work week essentially is just about working really hard and building a business that can kind of operate for you in the long term, not like short-term solutions to your problems. So I graduated from there. I did so well academically there that I went ahead and applied for law schools, just thinking like this is the next logical step. Went to law school, didn't do quite as well in law school academically as I could have, just because it wasn't quite as interesting to me as undergrad communication studies, and obviously way harder. Plus, I'd gotten married. Actually, before I even got married, my wife and I decided to have a child after my first year of law school. My son was born between my first and second year of law school, so that obviously played a major part in my academics and everything. But everything went really well there. Everything's been going really well since then, but it didn't have to go that way. It was a series of decisions that I made that, along with a lot of good structure in my life as far as the people that were around me. So it wasn't just like I set out and did it on my own. You have to make good decisions for yourself, but it does help if you're surrounding yourself with people that have your best interests at heart. So I went from basically being a high school dropout to, I don't want to say purchasing a high school diploma, but it's almost at that level with the school that I went to. It required some hard work. I kind of understood hard work a little bit then, to academic suspension from community college to summa cum laude graduate of Texas State University, winning like the J. Ralph Harrell Award for highest GPA in my graduating class in communication studies that year. What else? Yeah, then law school, obviously, then barred attorney, business owner. Now I'm sitting here in front of you talking about these things. So if you're somebody who's just getting started and you think the deck is stacked against you, in a lot of circumstances, maybe the deck is stacked against you, but that's not an excuse to not take a look and evaluate at what the decisions are that you're making. Understand that you can make small changes in your day-to-day life right now that can actually affect massive things that happen 5 years down the road, 1 year, 2 years, just like next month, tomorrow. Decisions that you make today can actually affect what happens in your life tomorrow and thereon after. So everyone has an opportunity. Now, is it harder for a lot of people than it was for me? Yes, a lot of people don't have the structure and have all of the advantages that I had. But you can't use that to justify not taking action on what you think and know that you can accomplish with your life. So I could have just accepted that I was this failure. I was a loser. I couldn't even get through high school without screwing it up, but I didn't, for a little while I did. But then once I realized, maybe I'm not quite such an idiot that I thought I was. I'm just kind of starting to play this role because I had, too scared of failure, basically, is what it boiled down to. So I don't know. That's not a very linear story, but that's kind of what happened to me. That's the broad strokes of how I overcame my own stupidity, got out of my own way, and was able to kind of accomplish a lot at this point in my life. And I just hope that if you're facing some roadblock like that, that gives you some inspiration to see, like, this guy was a complete idiot. I don't know. You may still think I'm a complete idiot, but in some ways, I'm sure I am a complete idiot still, and I still have a lot to learn. But I've come a long way from where I was, and you can overcome those hurdles too. I mean, now looking at what I knew about technology 5 years ago versus what I've learned in the last 6 months, it's just about dedicating yourself to something and just doing it and forgetting about being afraid of failure, overcoming the failure, and understanding that failure is just one hurdle that you have to get over in order to succeed. There's going to be a lot of hurdles on the road to success. It's not easy, but you can do it. If I can do it, literally anyone can do it. So anyway, let me know what you want me to talk about this week. I'm not going to keep doing motivational speeches and just talking about myself. So let me know what kind of theme you want me to move into next. I'd love to hear from you guys, and go get in my giveaway. I'm giving away an LLC today in the next 24 hours. You can go to, I'll drop the link below, but you can go to llcfreedom.com/mylist and enter to win an LLC from yours truly. Talk to you guys tomorrow.